Welcome to Swish and Flick, an all Potter podcast.
Swish and flick. Everyone? Swish and flick.
Hello and welcome to episode 110 of Swish and Flick. I'm Megan.
I'm Katie.
And apparently, I'm the only cool kid at this table because Tiffany's gone.
And this episode is sponsored by Jillian Zerline. Thank you. I hope I said your name right, but thank you.
Thank you.
So yes, Tiffany is not with us today. She had to be with her family. And so we are doing a chapter without her, unfortunately. But family is important, and that comes first. So today we're going to be discussing Chapter 34 of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Priori Incantatem. So make sure that you have read the chapter and you're ready to burrow your way into the details. Before we begin, we're going to me for the weekly profit.
Look, who's over there? Oh, it's me with your daily profit, Megan.
Who's that? It's Megan. She's basically the best.
She's basically the best. I'm basically the best. I don't talk in third person. Okay. So I just wanted to have like a little roundtable discussion for Weekly Profit today about Warner Brothers' purchase of Cursed Child.
Can we just clear the air for now, though?
Yes. There's no confirmation of a movie.
Correct. They've said years ago that there wasn't going to be a movie. They reiterated that point, and then a lot of people are like, they're going to bring the original people back. I don't think some of them would be into it. More
power to, that would be amazing if they did, and it's not confirmed one way or another, but people have been trying to post that in the group like over and over and over again, and I keep deleting it because I don't want to post that in the group because it's not a real rumor.
Yeah.
So I apologize to anybody who I've just like deleted their post for, but that's why. It's because I don't want to mislead people, and it's not confirmed.
We also do that sometimes if like you'll see that, well, we see, not you, because you guys aren't, approving posts, but there'll be times where like a certain like meme goes around and then everybody's trying to post it, which is great. We love that everybody wants to do that, but like
I stagger it over the day. Like I'll post one and then like I'll delete some, and then if one comes like the next day, I'll post it again.
Yeah. So if something like that is still like you get, I don't know, I'm assuming you might get a notification that it was declined. That's usually why. It's just because someone else has already posted it in our group.
True.
But going back to
so yeah, the movie, it's not confirmed, but what I will say is that they were very specific to say movie. So I'm not saying, like, I don't want to completely rule out that they will not give us Cursed Child in another format at some point, but it's not going to be a movie.
What do you think they would do, like a mini series?
That's kind of what I'm thinking. So
like a 2-part special?
Maybe. Or because I do know that it's confirmed that Warner Brothers is getting their own streaming service sometime next year. So they would be pretty stupid to not capitalize on Harry Potter, especially since they dropped like, I don't know the exact amount, but they dropped like many, many millions of dollars on the rights to Cursed Child. So I don't know if anybody saw, there was this like huge moment I think it was like maybe just a week ago now, but it was like this build-up. Like, Joe tweeted for the first time in 8 months. People were freaking out.
We were freaking out.
I really wasn't, because I was I'm like, I don't really know if not that, obviously, like, I loved the play, watching it and everything, but at the same time, I'm like, if you're just gonna, like, reuse the same material that you have, like, if they truly were gonna make a movie out of Cursed Child, like, I just want newer information, you know what I mean? That's just where I'm at.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want a Cursed Child movie. I don't want, I wouldn't want a TV show just Harry Potter. Like, give me something new. Like, I like Fantastic Beasts are giving me new information,
new.
But at the same time, I would want stuff that's, like, it could be in the same world. It could be like a whole Ilvermorny story. Give me those things. Give me students there. Give me students in other parts of, like, the world.
Yeah.
Well, that's just my opinion.
So, like, this is kind of where my thought process has been with it is I want Cursed Child to be more accessible for people. I really do, because I totally understand that people just can't afford to. I mean, it's expensive. because it's 2 parts, you've got to buy 2 tickets, and that's just for one person.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, you're going with somebody, so that's like 4 tickets
Yeah.
you have to buy just to see a play. And like I want it to be available to more people because it's a good
Agreed.
story if you like can see it and visualize it. So I'm thinking it is confirmed Warner Brothers has a streaming service coming. Like I said, I think it would be stupid if they didn't capitalize on Harry Potter because it's a huge franchise that they own.
Yeah.
So this is my theory, is that I think that Cursed Child is going to somehow be put out on that streaming service, whether it's like a live recording of the play or a mini series. Maybe it's like a four part series or something. And that's going to segue them into giving us new content. So I think that like that'll be the first thing they put out. And then they'll dive into like maybe a Founder's story, maybe a Marauder story, maybe, I don't know. It could be literally anything. I mean, she's given us 7 wizarding schools. Like, why can't there be an Ilvermorny series? You know, something. So, especially now that like Lord of the Rings is doing that, Game of Thrones just had a show confirmed that they're doing like from thousands of years before. There's even another Game of Thrones series about the Targaryens that is like in the works. So like all of these super popular franchises are doing this.
Yeah.
So I think that it would be naive for us to say that they're not going to do it with Harry Potter, to be honest. So I have faith that we're going to get more content, but I think that they may segue it with like a repeat, like you say you don't want, but I think the repeat might be Cursed Child to make it more accessible for people.
That's fine. Because
and then they'll go into
I
new
agree.
things.
Like, we were crazy lucky to be able to go see it for as cheaply as we did.
For sure.
Because like
We waited
and
forever.
Even in Cleveland, where we have like our own little playhouse, little district, like it's still expensive to go see plays down there in Cleveland.
Hamilton was still like $400 or $500 even in Cleveland.
They were all sold out within minutes, and then
Right.
everyone's reselling them for hundreds of
Of
dollars.
course.
And so like when you go to a big city like New York or Chicago or even San Francisco, like places that have these big theaters, specifically like mostly New York City, it's hundreds of dollars to see one play. So it's not accessible. And like that's the thing that like kind of sucks, is like it's such an amazing art form to watch. Not just like a Harry Potter thing, but musicals and other plays, you know, just to see these actors that have put so much time and effort into, you know, going up there and learning all of these lines and then performing it live where literally anything can happen. It's amazing to watch, and it's something that not everyone is able to because it is so expensive. Which sucks. And so I do think that like it would be great to have it more accessible to people, because majority of the people I've talked to that didn't like the whole reading of the play and then seeing it changed their minds. I want to say almost every single person I've talked to. Well, there's
I'd
even
say
some
it's like
people,
at least 90%, if not higher.
yes,
Yeah.
like some people are like, oh, I still had some issues with like, you know, the
story.
plot line and all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, they're like, I truly, like, my mind was changed watching it, which is something I wish everyone was able to do. So that would be a great way for it to happen on a streaming service. I will say I was super underwhelmed, and I know Tiffany was very underwhelmed with the whole reveal. She's like, literally, that's it.
Same.
Well, I think that they are really trying to have this build up because, yes, all they announced was a rebrand. So, like, yeah, the Harry Potter font is now the Warner Brothers Harry Potter font, and they've also changed it to say J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, because I think a lot of people separate Cursed Child from her because she isn't the sole writer of it. So I think that they are really trying to rebrand Cursed Child as the 8th story so that they can really like drive it to become a part of the franchise, because right now it's like very separate. But now that they've purchased it, and now that they can make the look and feel cohesive, I think they're hoping to gain more support before it gets put out somewhere. But that was so underwhelming. I was like, why did I wait up for this?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I went to bed. But I wonder, too, if this has anything to do with, like, Fantastic Beasts, because the second movie didn't make as much money as the first one, and then like they pushed back filming for the third, and like
year.
that's really not a good sign.
I know.
So
Yeah,
you know,
I know.
there's a lot to be said.
Well, I think that she took criticism of crimes very well, and I think that's why it got pushed, because she's like, hold up, let's take a step back and like make sure that number 3 is right.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I think that as well, like,
there's just a lot of plot holes with it that like.
and like for me, like, I get that there's like, I'm okay with plot holes because I understand that this is, you know, not even halfway through a series of movies, but at the same time, when you are only giving people a film as opposed to a novel and a film,
Mm-hmm.
there are going to be people who are going to go and see this movie who don't necessarily know Potter.
Yeah.
They just know Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah.
And I feel like for Crimes specifically, you had to know a lot of Potter knowledge to really like, and like even then we were still stumped on a lot of things, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But like to understand Dumbledore and his background and like all of
Yeah.
that, like all of that came to fruition, it's just, and she has to think about that. And honestly, I think that a lot of it, and I mean, I've said it before, like, I love David Yates as a director. I love, like, how he makes films look and everything, but he cuts out so much. And she really needs to hone in on him because it's different with Potter. Like, it was okay with Potter for him to cut certain things out because we had the novels to fall back on. But with this, when you are cutting out a scene, like that scene of Dumbledore and Newt conversing, that was all of like 20 seconds. And then they put it in like the outtakes of the DVD. And it's like, that was pertinent information. Why was that cut out? Especially when this is all we have to go on.
Yeah.
And like in reality, what is 20 more seconds in that movie? Like, what is the big deal?
Yeah.
I love David Yates, but oh my God, he cuts out way too much stuff. And like visually, he's amazing, but like Joe just needs to be on him with editing. Like,
he
no,
doing the
this
next
can't
one
come
too?
out. I think he's doing all of them. So I think that that's going to be, you know, that's going to need to be something. If he's not willing to work with Joe, because she's now the script writer and the producer, like she's really involved, he needs to fall back on her and okay absolutely everything, because I think that he is the reason Crimes failed, if I'm being completely honest. I don't think her script failed us. I think that it was David Yates' editing that failed us.
But I don't think, like, when reading the script,
Well, they didn't give us the unedited script.
correct.
That would be a thing that they could have done that would have been great.
Correct. I would agree with that.
This was like a soapbox I wasn't expecting to have. But yeah, so I mean, like, I really hope that her and David both took the criticism and both are going to just like open their eyes and be like, whoa, this didn't do very good at the box office. If we want to be able to give the fans all of these movies, we need to get it together and we
Yeah.
need to work together and we need to make sure that it's cohesive and we need to make sure that the story is understood. And like, not every fan is like me, where I'm okay with what I got because I understand and I have faith that we will get the whole story in the end. But a lot of people are probably watched Crimes and are like, I'm out on this one. I just don't get it. It's
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah.
And they have to think of those fans too, because like I don't represent a lot. I don't represent most of the fandom. I think that, and like I don't know how you guys feel, but like I'm okay with sticking with it because I get it. But not everybody's going to get it. And not everybody's going to stick with it. And that's going to be a problem
Yes.
if they want to tell us this entire story.
I'm more
'Cause
of
I want to
like,
know it.
I'm more of the fan that, like, yeah, obviously I'm going to go and watch all of the movies, but I'm just, and I think this is just me in general, I'm a very skeptical person. So, like, I had to go and see it 2 times for me to even really know if I liked it or if I didn't like it, which I'm still, like, on the fence. And, like, to be honest with the whole thing, I'm just like, yeah, it's all right, you know, with both of the movies. It's just, I think because, like, for me, I, like, don't even watch the Potter films that much anymore. I would just rather have a book, but
Doing this podcast more makes me super, super appreciate the books more than I ever did. Because, like, going through high school and college, the movies were my fallback. They were just easy. I put them on. They were easy to have on in the background. But now that I, like, am really breaking down the books specifically, it makes me really appreciate the details and really, like, want to get into the nitty-gritty of, like, what everything means and where it's going. And I think with you, Sarah, not well, I mean, obviously we're the ones conversing. Katie's pretty quiet, but I think with you, like, I don't think that you will know if you like
I'll have
Crimes
to get
of
it
Grindelwald. Or if
until it's
I don't
all
think
at the very end.
Yes, I don't think you're gonna know if you like Fantastic Beasts in general until the final movie comes out and we have time to really like
Process it.
discuss it.
But I think too, with us doing this whole podcast series, it's also like a bit of a downfall for us. Where like obviously we're now so used to, we've been doing this for over 2 years, where we nitpick every single chapter. So now we're, and we go through at the end of each book, we're going to go through the movie and be like, all of these things are different. So we're going into it knowing these specific characters that we've seen in the actual Harry Potter films and the books that are now in Fantastic Beasts. We're seeing them and we know their backstory and we really have talked about them and we can understand why they do these things and why they do this. But we're like just a lot, what's the word I'm looking for? We're just,
We're very, yeah, we're just,
we're like going through it with like a fine-tooth comb just because we're so used to doing that.
Yeah.
Not necessarily on purpose.
And like that's how I'm treating the Fantastic Beasts movies because that's all I have.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I'm treating those movies like I would treat the Potter books now. Like, oh my God, like all of our analysis podcasts of the Crimes trailers. I mean,
where 90%
was
of the stuff was wrong anyway.
So, but like some of it wasn't, and how cool was that? Like to be able to like have this going on with something new, like Crimes or whatever the next one's going to be called, to be able to like theorize again just feels really good. But I just wish that we could theorize on a novel because I feel like all of these like little questions and nuances that we're catching up on like would be answered with a novel.
Yeah.
Because a lot of what Joe writes so well is thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't see that in the movies.
Well,
I mean, like
and two, like
Eddie Redmayne's a great actor.
Yes.
But there's just some things you just can't do.
Like, but even Eddie Redmayne had said, he's like, this is the most detailed script I've ever had.
Yeah.
So, like, just fill in those gaps of people talking with more information.
Mm-hmm.
And
or
I mean,
give us an unedited script.
Yes.
And let us read it.
I haven't read the first one. I think I just read the second one because, like, we watched the movie and had to go home immediately and read the screenplay to, like, have it really go through my head for the second one. So I don't know I don't remember doing it for the first, but I have it.
The first, I believe, did have a couple of different things in it.
That's what I've heard.
But
which
then
I should do.
The second one didn't for whatever reason, and I don't know why that decision was made.
Yeah.
I think it's because the book came out like a couple days before the movie. It's like, well, I would rather just let you have the movie come out and give us the script 2 months later and have it be the full thing so that we can like really nitpick it after seeing it. But I don't know. Hey, Joe, hear us. Do it.
Katie, what are your thoughts on all of the things?
You guys said a lot of things.
As usual.
I had one thought that we sort of touched on, just like bringing it back to Cursed Child, I guess. So like if they do a streaming service and all that, like I'm down with that. Well, they are doing a streaming service, but if they put it on there and then do other things off of that, that'd be cool. But I do have a beef with Warner Brothers, just like, I don't know. I'm kind of worried about what they're doing to the Potter name, but we'll see. It's all about money. That's all it is, and it's just kind of annoying me, but...
That's what worries me about them buying Cursed Child. Like, what really were the motives behind this? I mean, every motive that they have has to do with money, if I'm being honest, but...
I just feel like... Sorry, go ahead.
No, go for it.
Sarah, I think, said it in the last... I think in the Felix Files we just recorded, maybe, I don't know, but, like, a lot of the stuff that is coming out, like, more under Warner Brothers as opposed to, like, the Wizarding World or JK. It's, like, kind of, some of it's chintzy and some of it's cheap, and it doesn't have the quality that it used to, or maybe I'm just old. I don't know.
And they better not do that with the streaming service series. I would, like, if they like, cheap out on it and they're just like, oh, we're just going to capitalize because it's going to have, you know, the Wizarding World, whatever, no big deal. Like, if they're going to do it, they better do it right.
But realistically, like, think of how many fans would, like, essentially riot if they gave us some garbage television show. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to watch that.
Right.
Like, if it's not good, like, I'm not here for it. Like, I literally would not be able to sit and watch it.
Yeah.
It's sad that I think that they just wanted to make sure that they owned everything Harry Potter, you know, Cursed Child, all the Fantastic Beasts stuff, all the Wizarding World, you know. Oh, it's just,
Well put, Tam. Tam says there's an anxiousness with stuff that is coming out because you're scared it's going to ruin something that is so important to you personally. I grew up with this. It's physically part of me.
Yeah.
Like, I feel that on a very deep level.
I
Yeah.
agree.
I'm
And
all about, like, change and growth and, like, embracing new things with it. Just make it good. Don't
Yeah.
just do it because you want a buck in your pocket. you
Yeah.
know?
Right. And I mean, like, a lot of other companies, like, seem to be doing that with other franchises. So hopefully they just take the advice of those and
Yeah.
run with it. I don't think that Joe would let them, hopefully. I don't know, but we'll see.
I don't know.
I guess at that point, since they own it, yes, she has say, but, like, I wonder to what point,
Right.
you know?
It's almost
Yeah.
like it flipped.
Right.
So, we'll see.
It's just, yeah, it's sad.
We'll see.
All right.
Whoa, who's gonna intro my part?
I think Florence should.
I don't know if Florence can.
Florence should try.
Well, all right. I'm Florence, and I'm here to say a recap.
Thank you. All right, so last time, Lucius, or I think we dubbed him Luscious, right?
Yeah.
Lucius Malfoy is called out by Voldemort, as are all the Death Eaters, pretty much. Sucks to suck, but, you know, that's what you get when you're on the dark side. And I'm taking your cookies.
I was going to say, and you get cookies.
So Voldemort goes on another long-winded monologue. Do villains ever learn? No, because that leads to their downfall every single time. Harry's hit with his first ever unforgivable curse, and Voldemort has him untied to stand and fight him.
Doodle-doo. All right. So, take a shot. Wormtails, I'm lying, not Wormtails. Wormtail frees Harry so he can duel with Voldemort, and of course then Voldemort has to, like, talk first and blah. And so during the duel, he ends up using the 3 unforgivable curses. So he first does Crucius. That's not how you say that. Then he does the Imperious curse, but Harry is able to throw it off. And then he and Voldemort duel, and it's Avada Kedavra versus Expelliarmus. And then something very interesting happens with the wands and their cores. And then with the help of the dead, Harry's able to get himself and Cedric's body back to Hogwarts.
You just, like, ruined this chapter. Thanks.
I mean,
Spoilers. Mara corrected me. That's not the first unforgivable he's hit with. It's the first Cruciatus he's hit with. Because he does get hit with Imperio by Judy.
oh, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
but that's,
but
like, training,
I meant
you know,
first
but, like,
hit.
in real world duel.
I meant, like, in
timeline.
that duel, the first
Right.
one he's hit with, because he gets hit in that moment with Voldemort. He throws all 3 of them at him. So the first one that Voldemort throws at him is Crucio. Then he does Imperius, and then he does Avada Kedavra. That's what I meant.
No, she was correcting me.
Oh,
You're fine. You're good.
get out. All right, I'm gonna read Tiffany's part. So if things are odd, it's because I didn't write this.
What is she saying?
I don't know.
Wormtail approaches Harry, and then Harry tries to get up on his feet so he can support himself when the ropes are untied. Then Wormtail uses his new silver hand to take out Harry's gag and cuts the ropes with one swipe. Whoosh.
Swiper, no
I
swiping.
was thinking that in my head and wasn't going to say it. For a moment in time, Harry considered making a run for it, but his injured leg wouldn't allow that, which is interesting when we talk about it at the end of this chapter. The Death Eaters formed a tighter circle around him. There were no gaps, nowhere to go. This
That's,
is
like, scary.
terrifying.
Yeah, I just like, ooh, it makes
for
me
a
feel
the
whole
panic.
claustrophobic.
Like, it
For
makes
a
you-
14-year-old.
Yeah, you have to take a breath.
Ooh,
Like,
I have
think of how
chills.
sick those people are to be like, yeah, we're going to murder this kid right now.
Yeah.
And, like, we're going to let
And
this
think-
happen and we're going to watch it.
Think Lucius Malfoy has a son that's his age. Like, you're
good
messed
point.
up
And
in the
Crab
head.
and Goyle.
It's true. You're all messed up. So then Wormtail went over to Cedric's body. He retrieves Harry's wand, and he thrusts it into Harry's hand without looking at him. And she's like, this is so because he is a horrible person, and Harry is so pure he can't look at him.
But, like, honestly, do you feel like Wormtail, like we know who he is, right?
Yeah.
Like, we know how he is. But at the same time, at the end of the day, he really did view James, Sirius, and Remus as friends.
Yeah.
And he knows that
messed up
Harry, yeah, like, he's messed up, and this is his situation, and he has to give Harry this wand and watch him get killed.
Yeah.
The boy who looks just like his friend James. Like,
Yeah.
who he
For
killed.
sure.
I'm
Yeah.
sure not that, like, I feel any ounce of sadness for Wormtail, really, but, like, he feels bad right now, I think.
He's got some regretting going on.
Yeah.
I think more so, like, he's probably
Regretting.
thinking, like, this is what I've gotten myself into, you
Yeah.
know?
He's, like, just kind of regretting his life choices.
Yeah, for sure.
I think he's definitely trying to put a front on too, like just trying to close himself off because he's having all those
Like,
feels.
here, do this. Here,
Yeah.
this is yours. I'm going away now. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not even
Yeah.
going to look at you.
Yeah.
And then Wormtail goes to take his place in the circle of the death dudes.
The circle
Death buddies.
of death buddies.
I like death dudes because I like the double D's. So Voldy then casually asks Harry if he has been taught how to duel, and then his red eyes were glinting in the darkness, which is sickening.
Red for evil.
Lime is evil.
Yeah, that's true.
So you can tell that he is really savoring the moment where he thinks that he is going to finally get rid of the one person who can actually ruin his immortality plans. He's probably thinking, he's like, I'm going to have a big steak tonight when I get home. Where's
Do you think
Bellatrix when you
that-
need her?
Do you think Voldemort eats?
He
Oh,
doesn't
he
have
probably
lips,
hasn't yet, but
so-
he had to drink the milk, so I guarantee he's
Ugh.
going to have some kind of sustenance once he becomes a human again.
I just can't see him
To
sitting
be
down
human
like
Like, for
eating
dinner,
a burger.
you know what I
To
mean?
be human again. I envision him feasting, like I think with the glasses of wine that Tiffany has, where he's like eating mutton with a fork with 3 prongs and sipping slowly on some red wine. That's how I feel like he eats. Or maybe he is.
And
people
then in
feed
the
him
background, it goes, red, red wine. You know that song?
grapes. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Harry then goes outside of himself and remembers a simpler time, you know, when a giant basilisk was trying to kill Muggleborns and he was remembering the dueling club 2 years ago. He only remembered learning one spell that was for disarming. And dude, this one's gonna be your ticket home for the rest of your life. You'll know no other spell. Expelliarmus. But what use would that be? Even if he used it and it worked, he was still surrounded by death dudes, outnumbered 30-1. That's like crazy to think, because like when you think about the movie, because like I know for me, when I visualize like these scenes, I'm so impacted because I've seen the movie so many times. There was like 10 guys
I know.
Right.
standing around some, corpse grass. So
Somewhat.
corpse grass.
Because they're in a graveyard.
Correct.
Oh, you're funny.
Is there also grave gravel?
Oh,
Body
yeah.
boulders?
Oh, okay. So when looking back at reading this chapter, this is Tiffany. I guess I didn't realize how many Death Eaters showed up in the small graveyards. Movieisms, man, and I obviously would
Yay.
agree.
Yep.
So Harry is racking his brain. He's trying to think of something that he had learned that would help him in this situation. He couldn't think of anything. He knew, however, that because of Moody's class, he knows that he is up against the unblockable Avada Kedavra curse. And she spelled Voldemort wrong. And Voldemort made a good point that his mother wasn't there to save him this time. Or is she? Tune in later for the rest of our episode and you'll find out.
Couldn't Harry like use a cheering charm on him? Just make Voldemort feel real good. And then just peace out.
That's what Bellatrix is for.
Oh,
She's-
too bad she in Azkaban.
Yep, she locked up.
Wait,
Is
what
that-
are
is that
puffs
what you just
called?
say?
Oh, Whiz Priz.
Yeah,
Whiz
Whiz Priz.
She's in Whiz Priz.
And then Voldy does something nice, and he teaches Harry how to duel. So kind, so thoughtful. Oh, maybe he does do the Imperious on him first, because he tells him to bow, and then he makes him bow.
But
so
without
first,
like saying it, yeah.
he's like, first you bow to one another, and to my surprise, Voldy bent a little bit, and he kept his face upturned to Harry. And says, come the niceties must be observed. Dumbledore would like you to show manners. Bow to death, Harry. And then the Death Eaters were laughing. Voldemort was smiling, and Harry did not bow. That's my boy, Tiffany says. He's not going to be played with before he being killed.
Why did Tiffany leave out the fact that it says he smiled his lipless smile? I do believe that's what is in the book.
I mean, I don't know. You have to talk to Tiffany.
Call her.
Lipless Lord.
Lord Lipless.
Lord
You all.
Lipless.
So Valdi
I gotta
doesn't care
laugh
for
when I
this,
can in
and
this chapter. Sorry.
so Valdi doesn't care for this and makes him bow using a non-verbal spell. So maybe it's not the Imperious. obviously, I lied. And Harry feels his spine curve in order to make him bow. The Death Eaters were now laughing harder. Very good, said Voldemort softly, and as he raised his wand, the pressure bearing down upon Harry lifted too. And now you face me like a man. He's a 14-year-old boy.
Right.
Straight-backed and proud, the way your father died. Now we duel. And Voldemort raises his wand.
Bum, bum.
How freaking sad, but also good for James being like, you know what? I know I don't have literally I don't got my magic. Well, I mean, he's got his magic with him, but his wand's just laying on the couch.
James should have transformed, charged him, boom.
Right?
Done.
That
I mean,
would've
not
been-
done because he had Horcruxes, but partially done.
Yeah.
1/6 done.
Like a hit with 9 lives.
Check mark.
Voldemort has 6 lives.
5 to go. All right. So
Why didn't he think to do that, though?
I read that somewhere online and I was like, yes! That makes so much sense.
Do you think Lily was
How-
an animagus? I think she was.
That'd be cool
I
if she
kind
was.
of always envisioned that she was, but it was just never in the story.
Do you think she was a doe?
I think she was a fox.
I know
Red
you don't
hair,
think
you
her
know.
and James
And
were
hand-me-down robes. Must be a fox.
Get out. Read your section.
All right, so Voldemort immediately casts Crucio, and Harry feels immense pain. And he describes the pain as white-hot knives piercing every inch of his skin. And then it was over. And I just wanted a little... I feel like maybe it's been a minute since we talked about Crucio, has it? I don't know.
Do you think it feels like a tattoo all over your body at once?
Oh,
But
I
does
feel
that
like
would
it's much
suck.
worse
That's
than that
not
because I
white hot
feel
knives.
it is, but it's
Sometimes.
just on your skin, whereas like this, I feel like is on the
Oh, I
inside,
don't think
so
it
it's
feels like
worse.
white hot knives when I'm
Oh,
getting
yeah.
tattooed.
That's what I always describe it as. It's a white hot knife going and drawing something on my skin.
Yeah, that's what I've always thought.
Oh.
That's funny. Everyone feels it a little
But
different.
Crucio, the purpose of it is to inflict excruciating pain on the recipient. A couple other quotes. This is on Pottermore. It's like the fact file. It was pain beyond anything Harry had ever experienced. His very bones were on fire. His head was surely splitting along his scar. He wanted it to end, to black out, to die. So that's intense. Okay. Voldemort then tells Harry that he's going to give him a break, and he asks if that hurt and if he wants him to do it again. Harry won't answer him though, and at this point he comes to terms with the fact he's going to die like Cedric.
Oh.
That is what Voldemort was telling him. But Harry was determined to not let that happen. He was not going to beg him. Anyone who thinks Harry isn't a Gryffindor is cray.
He's 14 years old, and
Right.
this kid's like, I'm going to die.
And he at this point, he's already like accepted that.
I think like even later on when he's at the final battle, like he walks in there being like, I'm gonna die and I'm okay with this. Like
I know. It's
Selfless.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that's also kind of a Hufflepuff thing to do.
It is very, yeah, I mean, yes. But at the same time, it is more, I think, it's more so bravery because.
Yeah, for sure.
Like boldness and bravery that he is.
I don't not think he's a Gryffindor. He's a sort of something.
So Harry doesn't want to answer Voldemort about wanting him to do it again because that's just like, who would say, yeah,
Well,
cast Crucio on me again. I really want to say a bad
I
word,
feel
but
like
I'm not gonna.
I feel like I would only because I'd be like, if I was like mad at him, I'd be like,
Taunting.
fine, do it again. Like,
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
I can handle it because I've somewhat done that before.
I know what you mean. So at that point, Voldemort casts Imperio on him, and we all know already how well Harry does with the Imperious Curse, thanks to good old Judy. And he
Judy.
does not disappoint here. He fights and fights against it. Voldemort keeps like urging him to say yes or no. But then Harry, in his mind, is just saying, say I won't. Like, and then he screams, I won't. And again,
I love that part.
so do I. It's like the way that it's written,
So awesome.
So Imperio is to make someone do exactly what you want. The Imperious curse can be fought, and I'll be teaching you how, but it takes real strength of character, and not everyone's got it. Better avoid being hit with it. Quote, Judy.
Well, Baltimore Scout Jr. as Moody.
Correct.
Think of like, okay, it's impressive enough that he could overcome it from Judy, but to overcome it from Voldemort,
Yeah.
who is like
I agree.
literally one of the most powerful wizards currently right now in the world, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
incredible.
And he's 14.
And he's 14.
Yep. So just I wanted to like read how that goes down. Voldemort says, "I asked you whether you want me to do that again," said Voldemort softly. "Answer me, Imperio." And Harry felt, for the third time in his life, the sensation that his mind had been wiped of all thought. Ah, it was bliss not to think. It was as though he were floating, dreaming. Just answer no. Say no. Just answer no. "I will not," said a stronger voice in the back of his head. "I won't answer. Just answer no. I won't do it. I won't say it. Just answer no. I won't." And those words burst from Harry's mouth. They echoed through the graveyard, and the dream state was lifted as suddenly as though cold water had been thrown over him. Back rushed the aches that the Cruciatus curse had left all over his body. Back rushed the realization of where he was and what he was facing.
This chapter's short, but like, God, it's really
like
intense.
Yeah.
It's jam-packed with stuff, man.
Episode title.
So Voldemort seems kind of like impressed with Harry that he has overcome the Imperious, and I'm just like, you jerk. But Voldemort threatens to cast Crucio again. Harry was ready that time, though, and he flung himself behind the tombstone. And Voldemort says, "We are not playing hide-and-seek, Harry," said Voldemort's soft, cold voice, drawing nearer as the Death Eaters laughed. "You cannot hide from me. Does this mean you're tired of our duel? Does this mean that you would prefer me to finish it now, Harry? Come out, Harry. Come out and play then. It will be quick. It might even be painless. I would not know. I have never died."
Just wanna punch him in his noseless, lipless face.
So, like, Voldemort is coaxing him to come back out, and he's literally telling him that death won't be painful. It'll be quick.
And he's probably not wrong.
No, he's not. But, like, the mental state that any other 14-year-old would be in at this moment.
Dude, you'd be like in fetal position, sobbing. You know what I mean?
Like I love
how do you even come
Ron.
to
I
terms
love
with
Ron
that?
to death, but imagine him in this situation. Like he would
Be
not.
dead.
Yep. So yeah, like at this point, Voldemort still hasn't really seemed to learn from his monologues. But if he wants to kill Harry, he should probably just do it instead of talking about it. But at this point, a 14-year-old Harry has to accept his death is imminent. I literally can't even comprehend this. Like, it's just, like, there's no other word to describe it except, like, sad. Like, it is just sad that right now, in this moment, that is where he's at, and he's accepted it. And he's like, you know what? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, you know what? I'm going to walk out there just like my father, and I'm going to die standing up straight facing Voldemort.
Shout out to Dan Radcliffe for the movie part of this, because you can see that he's like psychs
His,
himself
like,
up and he
build
gets
up.
up and he's just like, yeah, I'm going to face this, you know.
His
like
build
my
up is
dad.
so good.
Yeah.
So in the book it says he was going to die upright like his father, and he was going to die trying to defend himself even if no defense was possible.
Harry.
Oh, but Harry, there is.
You got this.
So
Just that one spell, you know.
As soon as Harry stood up and came around, Voldemort was ready, but so was Harry. So Voldemort immediately casts Avada Kedavra, just as Harry casts the ever-famous Expelliarmus. Funny here, within just paragraphs, we see all three of the curses that good old Judy had taught Harry.
I didn't realize that till Sarah said it, and then I'm glad you pointed out again.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Judy!
Once again, she's prepping us the whole book
Right.
to come to this peak.
Yep.
Isn't
Joe.
that just kick you in the crotch, spit on your neck, fantastic.
Sarah. The door's
Is that
over
from
there.
It Takes Two?
No.
Mm. What is it
You'll
from?
understand one.
Oh, so it's from Friends.
Correct. Julie. Sorry, Katie.
That
You're
sounds like
fine.
a quote from the movie It Takes Two with Mary Kate and Ashley
Oh.
Olsen.
Just makes me think of that every time we say Judy. I want to say Judy.
Feel free.
Like Julie.
You only have so much time before Judy's gone.
Wee womp. Or is it?
All right, so
Take a shot.
Voldemort casts his spell. Harry casts his. A jet of green. Meg, you're on board here. Green light came from Voldemort's wand. A jet
Can
of
you say it how it's spelled?
Voldemort. My finger was a little happy with the shift key. So a green light came from Voldemort's wand, and a jet of red light came from Harry's. And they met in midair. Yay, Christmas! And suddenly, Harry's wand is vibrating like an electric charge is just surging through it, and he couldn't have let go of it even if he wanted to. Yes.
It's interesting if you know anything about the color wheel that red and green are opposite on the color wheel, so they cancel each other out. The reason I know that really well is with hair colors. Those colors, you don't really ever see that too much. It's more like, you use a blue to cancel out a gold, or like a yellow shade, orangey shade you cancel out with a violet. But those two are opposite on the color wheel.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also interesting that it's like Expelliarmus versus a Vada Kedavra would do that.
I agree.
True, it's true.
So there's a narrow beam of light that connects the two wands. So where the red and the green meet, there's a bright, deep gold. And Harry can see that Voldemort's having the same problems with his wand as he is. So both of them are like clutching their wands basically for dear life. And then suddenly, and in the book it says like nothing could have prepared Harry for this. They were both raised into the air. So their wands are still connected. They start gliding away, and then they like land on a patch of the graveyard that is like free of graves.
I forgot about that.
I know, me too. And the Death Eaters are all like shouting. They're asking Voldemort what to do. And after they land, the golden beam splinters, and there's 1,000 beams that like crisscross and arc all over them, and it makes like this golden dome, like a cage of light around them. And I liked this quote: "The Death Eaters circled like jackals." So they're like, they don't know what the heck to do. They're just yelling at him like what do we do for you? And he's just like, don't do anything unless I tell you to, because obviously he has to kill Harry Potter, and he can do this by himself, and he can't be shown up again by a 14-year-old kid.
I think that's also his like defense mechanism, because he doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And also, different topic, but it makes me think of like the hyenas in The Lion King. I always think of the hyenas just like pacing, and they're like, what do we do? What do we do? Same thing, but like Voldemort is Scar, and Harry is Simba. I killed your father.
Well, that's accurate here,
That
too.
is accurate.
So now Harry has to hold on to his wand with two hands, because it's just getting harder and harder to keep that connection going. So from the book, and then an unearthly and beautiful sound filled the air. It was coming from every thread of the light-spun web vibrating around Harry and Voldemort. It was a sound Harry recognized, Phoenix Song. It was a sound of hope to Harry, the most beautiful and welcome thing he had ever heard in his life. He felt as though the song were inside him instead of just around him. It was the sound he connected with Dumbledore, and it was almost as though a friend were speaking in his ear. Don't break the connection. Side note, I was like, why Phoenix Song? I don't understand. Until literally today, I was like, oh, because they both have a phoenix tail feather in their wands.
Oh.
Okay, good. I wasn't the only
either.
one. Okay, good. I was like, I don't get it. Like, where is this music coming from?
And I wonder, like, does each Phoenix have their own song, and he would recognize this one because it is Fox's tail feather.
Maybe. I bet you they do. It's like a
I
form of
would
identity for them.
Yeah, I would think that they do.
I like that a lot.
Look at that. Look at that.
I'm so glad I wasn't the only one who was like,
As
didn't realize that.
Tiffany would say, I was that years old when I found that out. Said if I was today years old.
So as soon as he knows that he can't, like, he hears this voice in his head, don't break the connection, and he thinks, I won't. Like, I know I won't. But as soon as he thinks that, it obviously becomes harder to do. I feel like that's very relatable in life. So there's large beads of light now sliding up and down that golden thread that's connecting both of their spells. So it's like making his wand shudder worse, and the closer it gets to him, he feels like his wand's actually going to like burst into flame, because the wood just feels so hot. So he doesn't even know why he's concentrating on the beads of light, but he concentrates more than he's ever concentrated on anything just to get it to go back towards Voldemort instead of to him.
Do you think it felt like that because, like, phoenixes, like, burst into a
Ooh.
ball of flame before they're reborn?
Maybe.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe. I didn't even think about that. So I just want to say, go Harry, because he was doing it. And Voldemort actually looks astonished and almost fearful. Take that.
Take that in your lips.
Take
Oh,
that.
wait, you don't got any. Or a nose.
Nope. So he does do it, and as soon as that bead makes contact with Voldemort's wand, his wand screams in pain, and this smoky-looking hand flies out of the tip and vanishes. So that's the ghost of the hand that he made Wormtail.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
So then there's more shots of pain, and something larger is coming this time. It was a great grayish something that looked as though it was made of the solidest, densest smoke. A head, chest, arms, and here came the torso of Cedric Diggory. So Cedric comes out, and he looks up and down the golden thread that's going on. He just tells Harry, hold on. And his voice is all, like, distant and echoey. And Voldemort's, like, shocked. If he didn't know what was going on before, super doesn't know what's going on now. There's more screams of pain from his wand, and then an old man emerges. This is Frank. Shout out to Frank Bryce. And Harry's only seen him in his dreams, so, like, think of that. That has to be, like, super weird.
Yeah, but I guess that's, like, proof to Harry that his dreams mean something, you know? Like, oh, this...
Seer, Harry.
Yeah.
And Frank goes,
He was a real wizard then? Killed me, that one did. You fight him, boy.
and it mentions he has his walking stick, which I just want to say I love, because maybe you can take something that is very prized to you or that you use often into the afterlife with you.
Or maybe it's something he had on him.
Yeah. I don't know.
I like it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why didn't Cedric get the Triwizard Cup?
Because he
'Cause
wasn't
Harry
on
needed it.
him when he died.
I don't know.
Weren't they holding it? Oh, maybe
Oh,
not.
no, they
dropped
weren't
it.
anymore. Yep. So then Bertha Jorkins is next, and she says,
Don't let go now. Don't let him get you, Harry. Don't let go.
and yes.
I think that it's really cool. I mean, it's not cool. This is not cool because these are all people that he's killed. But I appreciate in the book, like, we really get to see everybody going back to his parents, because I forgot for a long time, because in the movie it's just Cedric and then his parents,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
So
Oh, and then, no, Frank comes out.
Cedric, Frank, and his parents. But,
Yeah.
like, Bertha Jorkins is completely out. We don't see,
Yeah.
like, Wormtail's hand or anything.
Yeah. When you only hear the parents and Cedric talk.
Right.
Mhm. Question, because I almost forgot to bring this up. So Cedric comes out of Voldemort's wand, but Peter Pettigrew killed him. So did Peter
But it's
use
the wand.
But did he use Voldemort's wand? How
Yeah.
would Voldemort give anybody his wand to use? Why wouldn't he just use his own? How
I
would
don't
he
know if
trust
he had his
anybody?
own.
Pettigrew?
Because where would he have kept it for 12 years being a rat?
I don't know. Put it in a little hidey hole. You're
I
right.
don't think that he has one.
No, maybe you're right. Oh, Isaiah says Wormtail was disarmed in Prisoner of Azkaban as well. So, okay, I'm wrong. I just wanted to know. Appreciate it. But anyway, so the ghosts are pacing the inner walls of the Golden Web, and they're whispering words of encouragement to Harry, and then they're hissing these other words that Harry can't hear to Voldemort. So I just want to know what they were saying. Be like, what's it like to have no
You
lips?
suck.
Probably bad words.
Did you smell that? It's your own body. You stink.
You can't smell because you don't have a nose.
You're a loser and no one likes you.
You're a loser and you don't have lips.
Isaiah says, trash.
Wally.
Speaking of, and then another person was coming.
So, and I'm going to read this directly from the book called The Goblet of Fire. And now another head was emerging from the tip of Voldemort's wand, and Harry knew when he saw it who it would be. He knew as though he had expected it from the moment when Cedric had appeared from the wand. Knew because the woman was the one he'd thought about more than any other tonight.
Sarah's gonna cry.
Pause for me getting all teary-eyed. No, but think, like, he's never seen his mother I shouldn't say that, because obviously as a child he's seen her in person, but this is the first time he's seeing his parents.
Like in a physical sort of form.
Yeah. So it's emotional. So he's looking right into the ghostly face of his mother, and she tells him that his father is coming and to hold on for his father. And then again, reading from the book, and he came. First his head, then his body, tall and untidy-haired like Harry. The smoky, shadowy form of James Potter blossomed from the end of Voldemort's wand, fell to the ground, and straightened up like his wife. He walked close to Harry, looking down at him. I don't know if that's his or him. And he spoke in the same distant, echoey voice as the others, but quietly, so that Voldemort, his face now livid with fear as his victims prowled around him, could not hear.
When the connection is broken, we will linger for only moments, but we will give you the time. We will give you time. You must get to the portkey. It will return you to Hogwarts.
That's really hard for me to read because it's really sad.
Yeah, it's very sad.
But there's actually like a whole thing on Pottermore, like a kind of factoid thing about hold on.
Priori incantatum.
Yep.
Speaking of, yeah, that is the name of this chapter, and that is what's going on right now, but we don't find that out till later.
Yes. So it's otherwise known as the reverse spell effect, and this reveals the last spell cast by another's wand. So think of like the last, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, out of the last 6 spells, 5 of them were the killing curse to kill. I mean, not counting the other ones, that's just sad.
Yeah.
You need to calm down, sir.
And then there's actually a picture on Pottermore that depicts Voldemort and Harry.
Oh, that's cool.
And then with all of these people around him. And it's like depicts literally, first of all, Cedric looks like a child. I mean, he is only 7. Was he 18 by this point? But his parents are like right next to Harry, like kind of like, I don't want to say egging him on, but like helping him with the situation, being like, we're here for you. So then Cedric's ghostly figure asks Harry to bring his body back to his parents, which in the movie it just says to his father. And then James is telling Harry it's time and to get ready to run. So then Harry pulls his wand up, breaking the connection. The lights and the songs coming from the connection weren't there anymore, but the shadowy figures were still there, disrupting Voldemort's view of Harry so that he was able to make an easier getaway. And then reading from the book again, because I completely forgot about this, Harry ran as if he had never run in his life. Knocking 2 stunned Death Eaters aside as he passed, he zigzagged behind headstones, feeling their curses following him. Hearing them hit the headstones, he was dodging curses and graves. Pelting toward Cedric's body, no longer aware of the pain in his leg, his whole being concentrated on what he had to do. And so I said it's really completely different from the movie, and really it makes more sense for it to happen the way it is in the book, because he is there 30-1 with all of these people around him. He is in a graveyard, so it's not like a straight shot. There's headstones and stuff all around him.
He's lucky he didn't
Yeah.
die from anyone else. You know what I mean?
And of course, the
goodness.
Death Eaters are going to fight back and be like, he's
Right.
getting away.
Yeah.
Nagini's probably being like, I'm hungry. That's my dinner.
Thankfully, the Priori Incantatum, lifted them away from that circle, too, though. I know that the Death Eaters ended up, prowling again, but, it wasn't the same setup.
Solid, it wasn't a solid
Yeah.
wall.
Right. So he, had the opportunity.
Mm-hmm. And then I also said it shows how adrenaline can be a crazy thing, because he wasn't able to walk before the portkey.
Right.
Even at the beginning of this, he was having trouble standing on his leg because of the Cruciatus curse that hit him. And, his leg has been injured since before he even touched the cup.
Mm-hmm.
But now he is running purely on adrenaline. And honestly, I think his parents coming back, gave him a boost, being like, you can do this. We're going to be able to get you, we're going to help you try to get to the cup and get Cedric and go back. So because of this, he's like, I can do this. I have a chance, and he's going to run. He can't even, think about how much, pain his body is in.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that they would have made this more close in the movie. And, again, I understand some creative changes, and I'm not a nitpicky person when it comes to book to movie adaptions, because, I have to view them separately. But, this is something so simple, that it would have really, like, it would have added to the drama of the ending, you know? And I think that it would have been really neat to see him get away like this.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
And also, like, I just feel for him in this moment when, like, he sees his parents and Cedric and, like, he's already struggling to keep that connection with the wand. And then he sees these people that he's never really seen in anything that he can truly remember. Like, he just has really dreams about them. And flashbacks of things that he doesn't really understand. And now they're talking to him. It's just crazy, and it makes me want to, like, give him a cuddle.
That's insane.
So then Harry throws an impediment behind him. I don't know if I said that right. And he doesn't look to see if he actually hit one because cool guys don't look at explosions. He finally has reached Cedric. He grabs his arm, and then there's basically like one headstone between himself and Voldemort. And, and Voldemort obviously is intent on killing him. So he's raising his arms to fire the Avada Kedavra curse at Harry. But Harry's a little bit quicker, and he Accios the snot right out of that Portkey cup, Triwizard Cup, and then the Seeker catches it by the handle, and essentially, like, as he's feeling the jerk behind his navel, he can hear Voldemort's screams of frustration, and he knows that the Portkey is working to get him and Cedric back to Hogwarts. But, like, so we're going to kind of dive right back, unless you guys have anything to say about that. I just want to know, like, what do you think Voldemort's plans were? Like, do you think, talking about Portkey, do you think that it was going to take him to Hogwarts to, like, immediately go there and fight? Like, I killed Harry, I'm going to try to kill Dumbledore and all these people there.
I bet, because Hogwarts is so important to him.
Yeah.
That'd be the first place he'd
trouble getting in.
Yeah.
And he always has trouble getting in there. So that was like the perfect end.
Yeah, I bet you any money that's how the Portkey was.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why it was set up that way. Because I know that we questioned that, I think maybe in the last chapter or something. Yeah. But yeah, I agree.
Because I'm like, I know he didn't just plan on, like, killing Harry and then having a party. He probably was like, I got Harry. He's the number one guy. Everything's going to be so much easier. Yeah. Hogwarts, Dumbledore, see ya. McGonagall, bye.
Mara
Snape,
says,
I don't know, bro.
Mara says, do you think Voldemort would have just sent Harry's dead body back?
I think he would have made a show of it. He's a showman.
For sure.
He would have brought Harry's dead body back, but he would have come with it, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, wearing it like a pelt.
Yeah, and he would have left Cedric and just taken Harry with him.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. 100%.
For sure. Yeah. What are some other...
Though he does say that he's going to feed Harry to Nagini, but I think that...
I think he would have afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would have taken Nagini with him, too.
For sure.
All right. So, I didn't even mean to do that on purpose. We have No, I have an idea. So, Mara, for lightning bolt questions, we have a listener in the Discord, Mara, who sent a bunch of them, and not all of them are, like, associated to this chapter, so maybe we'll just, like, pull one until we've done them all, and then just continue on to the others as well. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Does that sound good?
I don't care.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. But I'll save hers for last, because it'll be a fun one.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll go to a question from Vinny. What would be the most embarrassing spell to come out of a Priori Incantatum?
I mean, I can think of some embarrassing ones.
Embarrassing spells.
I don't know.
Like, what if, I don't know if I should say it, so maybe I won't. I'm just thinking, like...
Clean up El Pupio?
No.
I don't know. I'd have to think on that one, but that's funny. Amy...
Vinny, what if you used Avada to kill a cockroach?
That wouldn't work. Nothing kills cockroaches, man. You see that little one that survived with Wally?
Look what I typed in there. In the group.
I'll just say, Ingorgio.
Oh my god. So Amy Lou Mary Sue says, what do you think Lily and James were saying to Voldemort? Which we sort of talked about, but like, truthfully, just those two? Mama Lily, I think she's a little fired up.
I think they were saying not nice words to him about their son. He's gonna kick your beat. If you had a nose, he'd knock it right off your face.
Honestly, I kind of just feel like they're probably saying very spiteful things because that's what they feel towards him.
Or like, what if they're saying things that like really cut deep into like no one's ever loved you and you're not that
Probably.
great.
Yeah.
And Harry's
Just to
better than you and he's gonna
mess with
win and
his
we're gonna
head.
make sure that he's gonna win and.
Yeah.
Mara asks, what was it just Harry's class that had the Imperious Curse put on them, or did he do it to other classes, years, groups too?
I feel like he taught it to everybody.
I agree. I wonder, like, did we discuss like if he was allowed to do it and stuff? Like, I wonder if he just did it to get like he enjoyed it, you know?
I think
Yeah.
he did it for the purpose of testing Harry, but he couldn't just do it for fourth year, so he had to
Agreed.
do it for all of them to not look suspicious.
But why was
so-
he testing Harry?
to see what he's made of? You got
To
can you
report
do
back
this?
to Voldy.
But then he like proved to be like, you can fight this. You know what I mean? Like he's the reason that he was able to fight it.
I kind
true.
of just think that Judy likes to play games partially.
Mm.
So it
Yeah.
was kind of like, I'm
Judy
gonna
was
test you
like a
because
Scrabble
it's
player.
fun.
Isaiah
Plays a little boggle.
Isaiah asks, do muggles have their own afterlife since they can't become ghosts?
I would say ghosts. Muggles are ghosts as well, wouldn't you think? Like in real time life.
I would think that they can.
I don't know.
I mean, like you hear of like
Where was it
hauntings
where
and
it was
stuff.
said that ghosts choose to be ghosts?
It's in there. It's after R.I.P. Pour one out. Sirius dies.
Like I don't
remember
that. Oh,
I think that
around
Harry
there.
questions it or something. He's like, why couldn't Sirius have come back as a ghost or something like that?
Something like that.
And I feel like maybe probably Hermione is like. Did somebody say that?
Bree says it's in the 5th book.
Oh, okay. Oh, Nearly Headless Nick says it. Okay.
It's Sir Nicholas.
Demimsey Popington.
Tam also snowballs in this and says, what if you married a muggle? Would you have separate afterlives?
Oh.
That would blow, so I hope that you don't have separate afterlives. Okay, so I'm going to pick a question that Mara asked. Let's see. Oh, I like this one. Favorite Swisherism?
Owl's Caban.
I don't know.
Any lettuce pun.
Let
Sign me up.
Yeah.
us roll right into the next section with that one. We're gonna dive into the details.
We're going to dive into this fan story. Unless you have a Swisherism.
No, I mean I'm sure I do. I like
Florence?
Death Dude. But is Florence really a Swisherism?
Yeah.
Was
We
Florence,
claimed her.
Florence was around pre-Swish.
Trademarked.
Florence, TM, R with a circle. C with a circle.
I thought I picked this up and I didn't. I'm like a monkey. Here, do you need this for your headphones?
Nope. Get your foot away from me. All right, fan story time. So this one comes from Liana Roberry. That's a really cool name, first of all.
Pretty.
So she says, first off, my name is Liana. I first encountered Harry Potter when I was in 4th grade. I was in a class for visually impaired people, and part of the day I went to a mainstream class. It just so happened that when I went to the regular class one day that my teacher was reading The End of Sorcerer's Stone. I really don't remember how I managed to miss almost the whole reading. I came into the story when Quirrell revealed himself as the true antagonist. It was a really weird experience coming into the story at that point, but I still thought it was interesting. I didn't think about what I heard for a long time or what the book was. I think I heard it mentioned here and there, but I was young and didn't think much of it. A couple of years later, my family was reading the books and got me to read them. I think I was in 6th or 7th grade. Funny thing was, I had a chronic problem at the time with misreading the names, and the best example of this was when I failed to realize the I in Hermione was not an L. So until the first movie was close to coming out, I read her name as Hermlone. Huh. My eyes do things like that sometimes too. I have a bad habit of hurrying through books sometimes, so I missed some stuff that first time reading through the books that were out then. The first movie was announced not too long after I caught up to 4, I think. I was in 7th grade when the first movie came out, and I got to go to the midnight premiere. I used to enjoy the movies a lot more than I do now, probably because I've listened to the audiobooks over 30 times and can pinpoint everything that is wrong and missing. It drives me crazy. I got to experience the excruciating wait for books 5, 6, and 7. I read book 5 in less than 8 hours. Oh
my God.
That's incredible. The other 2 were a bit slower, but by then I had discovered the upside to slower reading. Because I have to hold books closer to my face, I tend to forget my surroundings and get pulled into the story more. I was at a girls' camp a few days after the final book came out, and everyone was reading it there. Can you imagine that? Like, the camp is probably never quieter.
That would honestly, like, that would make me nervous because I would feel like I have to be the furthest ahead.
Yeah, let's see. Sounds familiar. Reading book 7. Well, actually, the first one was your mom's fault. Reading book 7, your mom's over your shoulder and goes, "Oh, Hedwig died." I was like, "What? I'm not there yet." I was like 2 pages behind.
My cousin did that with, oh shoot, what are those other books?
Hunger Games?
Yes. I was reading the first one, and then she was talking about PETA in the second one. I go, well, I know he's not dead in this one. Then she goes, what? I'm so sorry.
Oh my God,
I'm
that's
like, really?
such a spoiler.
I'm like, it's all right.
Oh, man. Oh, it was a really funny experience. All we wanted to do was just read instead of anything else at the camp. Harry Potter is always fun for me to read because I'm very good at visualizing things inside my head. I've always had an overactive imagination, and so Harry Potter has helped me channel that more. I mentioned once in the Facebook group that I go to sleep listening to the audiobooks. They really do help clear my mind. I am 28 now, and it's been a lot of fun growing up with Harry Potter. I'm totally proud to call myself a Harry Potter trivia master.
That's awesome.
Thank you,
That's
Liana,
awesome.
for sharing your story. I feel
Thanks.
like it's...
Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for sharing your story.
Because we're the same age, unless you sent this a long time ago. But,
Well, I mean, we still might be the same age
We
because
still might
you're
be the same
literally
age.
about to be 29.
Yep. But I feel like, yeah, you share that same experience that a lot of us had, where we get to grow up with it, which is, I mean, that's awesome, you know?
It's so crazy now to see, like, even now kids these days, like, they are growing up with it, but in such a different way than
Yeah.
we grew up with it.
Yeah.
It's cool to see, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Also, I just realized that when you turn 29, I'm going to be halfway, like, to be 30, and it makes me want to cry a little bit, and I'm not even lying, so we have to...
Oh,
Social
boy.
media, what's that?
I was actually going to say, why don't we, like, talk about things that are going on with us before we do social media?
I don't care.
Do you care? Okay, so Katie and I are deep into Downton Abbey. That is like
Ooh, really?
that is like our new thing right now. We just finished season 4.
I almost
we have
didn't
2
want
to
to
go.
continue on to season 4 because
What
something that
happened?
happened in season 3 made me so
Oh, the
angry.
very end.
Literally,
With the-
I haven't been that angry since
stopped watching.
Dexter. I almost did. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have watched anymore. I was so mad. I
was
thought
like,
about
no,
it
I was like, no,
all
we gotta
day.
keep going. We
Well,
gotta
so,
keep
like-
going. I want to see the movie.
Oh.
Then I had to, like, read what else happened because I'm like, I just want to know. Because, like, all I'm
Dude.
going to say about it is I'm also, this isn't, like, a spoiler because it's literally years later.
Yeah, but we're only at the end of season 4.
All I'm saying is what happened in season 3.
Oh, okay.
Everyone's saying they stopped at season 3 because they were so mad. I get it.
But, like, the thing, so
My
the thing
mom
with
stopped watching.
contracts-
My mom was watching it with us. She watched the last. She's like, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
Livid.
I'm also crap at watching television shows anyways, but the thing, like, they do their contracts over there for shows differently, and his contract was over, same with the one girls, and so they just didn't renew him, and so they were like, there was no way to write him out of the show except that. Like, that wouldn't have made sense, you know what I mean? Which is so infuriating, because I love him.
He's my favorite.
I'm just saying, though.
And it took them so long to get together.
Sybil and Matthew were my 2 favorite characters.
Yeah.
And
stop.
yeah, it was like
I love Anna and
geez,
Mr. Bates.
So do I.
Yes.
And they're really great in season 4. Have you watched season 4? Their
She's
their
like,
story is
"Screw
their
season
story
3."
is great in season 4, but like
Yes, Vinny.
Sybil and Matthew were my favorite, and I was just like, oh God. So yeah, that's where we just finished season 4. We want to finish seasons 5 and 6 before we go see the new movie that literally just came out today, the day we're recording this.
Why are you bringing at me?
Because I want to know if you know who Dan Stevens is.
Yeah, he's the Beast. Is that
We
his
didn't
name?
realize
Oh
that
my God,
till
I
like
d-
season
it
2.
took me a
I'm
long time to
freak
catch
about
on.
So like the first I would say first season and a half, I was like, do I find him attractive or do I not? And then I was like, more of his storyline. I'm like, I need you to get with Mary. And then I'm like, yes, you're so attractive. And then I had to be like, what other things is he in? Like, he's in this one movie where he's playing this American guy that like is kind of like a horror, more of a thriller. He like goes and he pretends that he is, and I think he was a soldier in the movie, but he pretends to be like this family whose son died like in the war, like nowadays, like, and he's a soldier, was killed in line of duty. And he's like, oh, we were friends, and then like moves in for a little bit, and then like terrorizes the family. But he's also so hot in it. And I'm like, I love this. And so then I had to watch all the other things that he's in.
Yeah, I love him a lot.
Yeah,
and I
he's
was
really good looking,
very,
and I like to watch.
Very sad.
I just hope I didn't cut you off. Did I cut you off?
I don't
from the
think
thought?
so.
Okay. I apologize if I did.
But yeah, so we're really loving Downton.
It's a good show.
And we started it because the movie was coming out, and I was like, I want to go see this. It sounds like something I would love. Like, I'm obsessed with The Crown on Netflix. Like, basically any British drama, I'm all about it. So I was like, why did we never watch this? Let's do it. So
And Maggie Smith is in it.
She's
Oh my
so
God,
funny.
she makes me laugh.
she's hilarious
Yeah.
in it. So yeah, but yeah, like British dramas. That's my go-to. Even when reading, like British. What is it? What is the book category that I like found it? It's called like Brit chick lit or something
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
no, I think you're right.
Like British chick literature is like my jam. So I'm like, why not just like do that with TV shows too? So
Is it your
And they
crumpet
just-
jam?
they just released the trailer for season 3 of The Crown, and they revealed Queen Elizabeth because it's a new actress. Like it's a whole new cast now because
Yeah,
they've like
I love
jumped
her.
ahead. Yeah.
She's in a couple of other things that I've
She's in The
watched.
Favorite, which was like really weird
Yeah.
and bizarre, and I was
Yeah.
not a fan of it. But
It was very
Yeah.
odd. I just
But she
recently
won
watched
for it,
that.
so.
And
and Helena
Olivia
Bonham
Colman.
Carter.
Olivia
Colman,
Colman
yeah,
is
and
her
Helena
name.
Bonham Carter is playing Margaret.
Who's
So
playing Prince Philip?
I don't know, but nobody will be as good as.
Oh, he was so good, Matt Smith.
Yes, he looks literally just like him.
He does.
Yeah, let me look
But
it up and see who's going to
I
be playing
am
him.
obsessed with The Crown. Can't wait for it. Comes out like in mid-November. So yeah, that's what's going on in our lives. And also, I wanted to tell everybody that
Wait,
September-
are you saying what I think you're gonna say?
I'm going to talk about the Heart Walk.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, Tobias Menzies, I think is how you say it.
Oh yeah,
What did I
Tobias.
say?
Tobias.
What is wrong with me?
Tobias.
He was in Outlander and a couple of other things, but I love him. Love him. But yeah, he's playing Philip, the Duke
I
of
don't think I'm
Edinburgh.
going to like him as much as Matt Smith.
Charles
Tobias.
Dance is going to be Lord Louis Mountbatten. What is wrong with me?
Mountbatten.
And then, and then you would know him if you watched Game of Thrones. He is the father of Jaime, Cersei, and
Oh, what a jerk.
yes.
I don't like him.
I mean, yes.
We're still like on season 3 of Game of Thrones. I don't know when we're going to pick that back up again. But I finally
We're
got
too
an
deep into
HBO.
Downton.
I know after that maybe we'll go back to it. But I finally got an HBO Go password to work. So, woo.
We just tried a ton until one word.
No, it's like a friend of a friend. But, you know.
You're hilarious.
I'm not paying for HBO Go. I pay for enough streaming services. So anyway, I wanted to thank everybody for buying merch and helping me and Katie reach our goal for the Heart Walk that is going on tomorrow, which will be like a week from when this comes out, a week before. But tomorrow morning is the Heart Walk, and we raised over $1,000.
Incredible.
Which is incredible. And my mom is like so grateful. She like wanted to cry about it. She was like, "Oh my God, tell Sarah and Tiffany thank you so much for letting you like do that partnership." And
The way you said it, she's like, she wanted to like cry about it.
she did, but like she was so happy. She was just like so, and everybody that purchased merch for that fundraiser, my mom is making a little gift for you that we're gonna send out separately, and like.
Yeah, it won't come
It
with
won't come
the
with
thing
your
you ordered.
stuff.
It'll be separate.
But yeah, my mom and me are putting little packages together for everybody. So as a thank you.
Little packages.
Yeah. So thank you guys, because yeah, we reached over 1,000 and it's great. Katie, what's up with your life? Because it's totally different from mine.
Wait, no. Can I drop something? First mention? 'Cause
Sure.
it comes out on this Sunday, but it'll already be
Oh
out.
yeah.
All right, so Discord, you're hearing it first, I think. I think we
love
might
that
have.
You've not stopped saying "all right" so this
All right,
entire episode.
then.
All
My
right.
bad.
then.
You're getting a little sneak peek. I think we may have mentioned before, but it's actually real and has been in the works and is legit. So by
has
this
been
time,
recorded.
yeah,
Too legit to quit.
by this time when this episode comes out, episode 2 of this should be out. Or
1
3.
and 2.
No, 3. When this comes out, the 3rd episode will be coming out.
Oh, okay.
Know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So September 22nd, I believe, is the 25th anniversary of Friends, and Meg and me and our friend Chrissy are doing a Friends podcast called Friends Talking Friends. So we're just breaking down all the episodes because Meg has seen like 2 episodes total of all of Friends. I've dabbled in it very few and far between. So yeah, we're excited. And
It's
and
happening.
Chrissy's an expert. So we have
Like
novice,
insane
like,
expert.
intermediate.
There are
and
times
then
where, like,
expert.
we'll get together and, like, Chrissy and I, she was like, well, do you know this? I'm like, yeah, we do. So then we'll make, like, Friends jokes the entire time we're together and nobody else gets them.
Yeah.
And then we're dying of laughter and everyone's like, all right, cool.
So yeah, basically like the format of it is we're going to literally watch an episode and then immediately record a podcast about it. So far we have done 2 episodes, technically 3 actually. We have like an intro episode that's coming out, and then episode 1 will also be coming out the same day as our intro episode. So we're dropping 2 at once, and then the following week will be episode 2 of Friends, episode 3 of the podcast.
Right.
So yeah.
So check it out if you are a friend of Friends, you know.
Yeah.
It's been fun so far. I mean, we
It
just started,
has.
but it's been a lot of fun.
And a fun little tidbit is that I have realized that I've seen the first 2 episodes of Friends before. I didn't think that I had, but I did. So
I will also say I totally guessed who her favorite character is.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
do you guys think?
people in Discord, tell me who you think my favorite character of Friends is after the first 2 episodes.
And it's very prominent. Like, she was just like,
Like,
no,
I really,
this one's my favorite.
I really enjoy them.
It
Because
made
I'm
me
not
laugh
giving you a clue.
a lot.
Everybody's saying Chandler.
Yeah, that's because
Oh,
Chandler's
no.
the best.
Chandler's
because
my
literally,
favorite.
I said that Chandler at this moment in time is my least favorite just because, like, we haven't heard from him, like, at all. I don't really know anything about him. He's had, like, 2 lines, I feel like, in the first 2 episodes. So, no, it's not Chandler.
I will say, you know, it's one of my favorite things in the first episode. This is how much I've watched this show. When she's talking to her dad, and she's like, "It's, you know, your whole life, everyone's telling you, you're a shoe, you're a shoe, you're a shoe."
Yes, that line is great.
She's like,
I don't want to be I want to be a hat.
you know,
No, don't buy me a hat.
It's a metaphor, Daddy.
Oh, guys, yeah, it's Ross. I really love Ross. I do. I'm sorry, Vinny.
Vinny, I'm with you.
I'm sorry. I love him. He's just like, well, I talk about it a lot in the first couple episodes that we've recorded so far, but like, he's just so real.
I need you
Like,
to.
he's the
I need
most-
to hear what you're gonna say when you get to the last episode of the entire series. I will say he goes through a journey, as they all
He's
do.
just real, and he's a sensitive man, and I appreciate it.
Everyone's like, no.
Except Sam, thank you.
Tam, is he your favorite Friends out of the 6 of them? Because I've seen this series, like, I literally think this is the only television series that I have seen every single episode of.
You haven't seen every episode of The Office?
No, I don't even think I've seen 10.
Oh my God, The Office is the best.
Oh, that's a lie. I've seen all of Game of Thrones, but like 90% of the stuff I watch, I don't finish TV
what about
shows.
Stranger Things?
Yeah, but that's not end. You know, there's more to come. So like with Friends, I've seen every episode and I watch Friends all the time. So I know these characters way better, obviously, than these two have because they haven't watched it as much as I have. So I'm interested to see how you're going to react at certain parts of what.
All I'm
and
saying,
even, like,
I'm 2 episodes in. I like Ross.
Yeah, and I'm also interested to see because a lot of it doesn't translate well into like, for lack of a better term, the woke culture of now.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to hear what your point of view is going to be.
I kind of feel like that's why I really don't like Joey. I am not a fan at all in any way, shape, or form at this moment in time of Joey. I really don't like him. And like I said, Chandler, like, he hasn't had enough lines for me to really, like, know who he is. But Ross, to me, is, like, he's just real. Like I really like what Tam just said in the group. He is human. And, like, to me, to me, all of the others at this moment in time, like, they have a shtick. You know what I mean? Like, Rachel has a persona, Monica has a persona, Joey has a persona, even Phoebe does, and Chandler does a little. Not really. Like, Phoebe and Chandler, like, not as much, but that's because at this moment in time they were just background characters, which I learned from Chrissy. But Ross, to me, is just real. Like, he is the most relatable, in my opinion, because he has emotions, and I don't know. Sorry, guys. I love him.
I will say with Ross, I just don't care how he handles his relationship with Rachel and then the thereafter.
Yeah, and, like, I don't really know anything. To be
I'll
completely,
also say
like,
there's a wedding in the series that doesn't go great, and I just read a fantastic tidbit, which I'm sure Chrissy knows about, so that'll be interesting. Hopefully she brings it up. But
I'm sure
we can
she
move
will.
on 'cause
She's
this is
been,
not
like,
friends talking
yeah.
friends.
She's been, like, super awesome with little, like, behind-the-scenes tidbits and stuff.
Yeah.
It's really, like, we talked about, like, their auditions, and it is just really cool, so. So, yeah, check out Friends Talking Friends. We're going to launch the Facebook page. For the people who are on Discord right now, it's going to be launching, like, tomorrow. And, yeah, so go follow us on Facebook. We might start an Instagram. We just have, like, a lot going on in our life, and to manage another Instagram page would be a lot, but maybe, because it'll be nice to be able to, like, go live on Instagram and stuff. So that's a possibility,
Are
so
you
look out for
guys
it.
going to do every week?
Yeah, we are. Because it's, like, really easy to knock a couple out at one
only
time.
half-
Because we just,
20
like,
minutes.
it's a
They
24-minute
say like I haven't
episode.
watched every episode.
Right.
And if you ever need a guest host, I could be on. Steph obviously can be on. She's watched it a million times. Tam, we're all down.
I know, and Tiff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah. Tiffany also loves it. It's just not. I obviously am a freak about this.
dude.
Not as much as me. But moving on. Are you anything else you guys have to say?
Nope.
I know for sure it'll be out on, like, Podbean right away, but it takes a bit to propagate to, like, iTunes and Google Play. So,
That was a big one.
Yeah, it was.
That's a big
She didn't
word.
choke on it. I'm surprised.
So for sure you can find it on Podbean right away. But yeah, and probably YouTube. I'm assuming we'll upload them to YouTube just like we do Swish. So
Tube of you. And
yeah.
Oh my God.
And all of our titles
It's such a good episode.
all of our episode titles will start with the one where ... So just so you
Yeah,
guys
I love the one. It's the one where no one's ready. It's so good.
like I think our
It's
first
so
isn't our
good.
first episode, it says like the one where Megan discovered she likes Ross or something like that. It's something with my name. I don't
something.
remember, but yeah. So like they're gonna be like that, where it's just gonna be about like what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So.
Could I be wearing any more clothes? So when does this come out? Next weekend? So I'm just gearing up. So I have the wedding is over. My friend is married. So I'm guessing happily. They're probably still married by now. I mean, they've been together for like 6 years. So, and then I just have school, and that's literally my life is so busy. I have no time off. But then we're going to be going to Boston soon. So
Oh, man.
excited.
check us out. We're going to be there. And we're going to be at LeakyCon. We also got, am I allowed to say this?
Yeah, I think
We
so.
got press passes.
Yeah, we did.
So we might be talking to some people that have been in the films. And hopefully while we're there, we're going to hang out with Chris Rankin. I really hope that happens.
Cross your fingers that we get to talk to Dan Fogler, because I will die a little
Yeah,
on the
that'd be-
inside if we
that'd
do.
be pretty cool.
Guys,
so
he's a Hufflepuff and has a Dolphin Patronus, just like me.
you're so cute.
Paisha, one of our panels is going to be with Eric from MuggleCast, so we will for sure at least get to meet Eric. Andrew, I don't think is going to be there, but Micah will be, so probably.
Yeah, so hopefully we don't sound like idiots up on the stage. One of them is going to be the four of us. So, like,
Yeah.
I'm just, like, a little bit worried about the other ones just because I don't know these people and I don't know how they podcast because I will lie. I don't listen to them.
We've been on an episode of Hogwarts Radio with Terrence before.
Yeah, I didn't do well because I didn't feel great. I didn't
Yeah.
talk much, I should say, which is fine. But,
It can be a lot of voices, so we're just going to have to
Yeah.
figure out how to balance that.
yes, that's the biggest part I'm worried about is
Because it's 9 of us. 8 of us.
Whew.
It's 8 of us.
a lot of people.
I know. Because Hogwarts Radio is 3, we're 4, and then Eric from MuggleCast. Ugh.
Yeah. So hopefully people come and enjoy it. So if you're going to LeakyCon in Boston,
Say hi.
we're gonna be there. We'll definitely be there Saturday at some point. To just like walk around and attend as a guest.
Can we go to the Harry and the Potters concert?
Yes.
I prefer Draco and the Malfoys.
Well, they're playing too.
My dad is rich and your dad is dead.
We have to hear the Basilisk
My
song.
dad is rich and your dad is dead.
Mara, I'm not
Must
sure.
Save Ginny Weasley from the basilisk.
Yes, we will definitely have videos on YouTube.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday, that's when we're doing our 2 panels. So I don't remember the times off the top of my head. Also, my best friend is coming to like help us out, so we have like a little like another set of hands. So you get to see her if she's there. Like if you're there,
You can ask her if she's happily married.
Yeah, you can.
We'll find out. Stay
Tell
tuned.
you. Tell you all about it.
Also, it's Katie's birthday weekend, so it's gonna be Partay Cité. Boston, watch out. Swish is coming for you.
Boo, 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 boo.
And Salem, which I'm super excited about. So,
It's all just a bunch of hocus pocus.
all right, social medias.
Yes.
So you can follow us on Facebook at Swish and Flick Podcast, and then also on Twitter and Instagram at Swish Flick Cast. You can subscribe to us on YouTube and also join our Patreon, which gives you access to the Felix Files and lots of other perks. So you can check that out at patreon.com/SwishFlickCast. And lastly, you can find all of the information compiled into one spot on our website at swishflickcast.com.
Yep, cool. Do you want me to read it?
Do it.
Well, because Tiffany's not here, so we have to do her job.
Ugh.
That concludes this week's episode. So, for Voldemort and Valor, thank you so much for listening, and don't let those muggles get you down.
Amazing! Just my voice!
Tiffany, come back to us.
Tiffany.
Tiffany, come back.
Ooh, it's Tiffany.
My name is Sarah, and I'm here to say y'all are losers, and I'm the coolest.
Waiting with bated breath. Cambo 86, what are you gonna tell me?
I don't remember what happened this morning, let alone anything else.
Pretty please. Preferences.
Calling it right now.
I can't believe you didn't know that.
Well, maybe
Also,
next
you
time.
guys have been eating Honey Hut significantly longer than I have.
I'm pretty sure that we follow their Instagram, babe.
But they...
A kitten. To answer Vinny's question, and in case anyone else is wondering, Tiffany is not with us tonight. She had a family thing to do, so you're stuck with just the 3 of us. Sorry.
Yeah, it was sort of last minute, so we apologize.
We
We're
weren't
just gonna
even-
thankfully she did her notes already, so we're just gonna read what she had to say.
Yeah.
As a good teacher, she did her notes.
Yeah.
As a bad student, I did mine about an hour ago.